What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Marvel Snap video, and today we are back with another Saturday Showcase video. It's been a while since I uploaded the last one, but what is a Saturday Showcase for those of you who might not be aware? Well, every Saturday we take a look at a few decks from the community Discord, a few decks that'll help you rank up, reach infinite on the ladder. And today we are looking at 5 different deck lists from the community Discord. I'm going to pick one of those decks to play some games with here on this video. And if you want to be a part of the next Saturday Showcase, all you got to do is join the Discord server. Link for that will be in the description down below, and just post your deck list in the Saturday Showcase channel with just a quick explanation of the deck list. Now, before we get into the decks and the gameplay here, I just want to say real quick, if you enjoy this type of content and want to see more meta decks that'll help you rank up, and any tips, strategies, decks, things like that to help you improve your game in Marvel Snap, make sure to like and subscribe and stick around for some more awesome content from myself. Without further ado, let's get into these decks here. So first off, we got a Galactus deck from Johnny Utah. Johnny Utah is a valuable member of the J-Hugs Discord. The Goose Gang is actually the name of our community now. So Johnny Utah is a valuable member of the Goose Gang, and I believe this is his first time hitting Infinite. So congrats to Johnny Utah. This is the deck he used. It's a Galactus deck. A pretty straightforward, simple Galactus deck, but I mean, you know what they say, right? If it ain't broke, you don't fix it. Now, this deck is a fairly straightforward Galactus deck. We got Yellow Jacket to combo with the Adam Warlock to help you draw your Galactus more consistently. Yondu to destroy a card from your opponent's deck and buff up your Null. Electro and Wave to ramp into the Galactus. Shang-Chi to take down any big units on the final turn of the game in case you don't have priority. Spider-Man to lock your opponent out of the Galactus location on the final turn of the game. Dr. Octopus to pull out any of your opponent's valuable resources so they can't use them against you. Null, a big, tall unit to throw on the location at the end of the game. Galactus, of course, your main win condition to destroy all their locations. Chavez for consistency, and Death is usually going to be free with all the cards you destroy with Galactus, and Yondu as well. So just a pretty straightforward, simple Galactus deck. I think Galactus is one of those decks that is pretty easy to tell when to snap and when to retreat. You're probably not going to get a lot of 8-cube victories with this deck, but that's fine, right? Like, just consistent 4-cube or 2-cube victories, I think, will just do the job fine, and it'll definitely take you to infinite rank. So usually you just want to ramp into Galactus with either Electro or Wave. Play Galactus on turn 4 or turn 5. Lock your opponent out with Spider-Man, or if you don't have priority, you can slam down a Null to where he's safe from Shang-Chi, or you can play Shang-Chi plus like Death to take down any of your opponent's other big units. So thank you, Johnny Utah, for sharing your deck list. Next up, we got the Raven Special. This was actually submitted by Skip in the community Discord, but it was actually created by a guy named Raven. This is a guy who I always see on Twitter raving about Stature and this deck, and I recently unlocked Stature myself, and I have played something similar, not this exact deck list, but Stature is a very, very fun card. I really, really like Stature. I think she's a cool card. Basically, if you don't know what she does, she's a 5/7, but she costs 1 if your opponent discarded a card from their hand this game. So that basically makes Black Bolt playable, right? One of the worst cards in the game in Marvel Snap, but he's actually not bad with Stature, right? Because he forces your opponent to discard a card and activates your Stature, which a 1/7 is very, very powerful. And then we have other things in here. Iceman is just a really good card right now for disruption. Really good because a lot of decks are tending to run like 6-cost cards. So Iceman is usually going to hit something pretty important, like it can hit an Electro or a Wave or a Sandman. So really good in this meta. Zabu, just an all-around good card. We got 4-cost cards, so Zabu makes sense here. Armor to protect any whatever big card you might have that gets doubled by Shuri. Moon Knight to force your opponent to discard a card and activate Stature. Black Cat. Black Cat is an interesting card here, but I actually really like Black Cat in this deck list. Black Cat is a 3/7. If this is in your hand at the end of your turn, discard it. So if you discard it, you can potentially bring it back with the Ghost Rider. And if you don't bring it back, you know, it's just fine, right? Like, it's just kind of like an alternate condition for Ghost Rider, right? Ghost Rider has 2 targets in this deck list. It's Black Cat or whatever you discard with Moon Knight. Shuri, even though she did recently get nerfed, she is still a very, very solid card. Ghost Rider, I did mention to bring back Black Cat or a card from Moon Knight. Shang-Chi, just a good counter meta tech card. Spider-Man, another good control card. Stature, 1/7, really good. Black Bolt forces your opponent to discard a card. And then Spider-Woman. Spider-Woman is good in this deck list because she's a 5/8 and can afflict all enemy cards with -1 power. So if you afflict 4 cards with -1 power, she is essentially a 5/12, which is a really good value. And she's a 5 cost, so you could play Spider-Woman plus Stature on the last turn of the game. So thank you, Skip, for sharing this deck list. But shout out Raven, who was the originator of this deck list. I will leave a link to Raven's Twitter down below if you want to check him out and follow him there. Next up, we have a pool 1 only deck, actually, from suziederkins on Discord or Kraken P here on Snap Fan. So basically, this is a zoo style kind of hand dump strong guy sort of deck list, and it's pool 1 only. So they kind of included this description here to kind of explain their reasoning behind the deck list, and I'm gonna link all the Snap Fan links for these deck lists in the description if you want to check them out. Copy the codes, try them out for yourselves. So basically, they said they created a new account and they wanted to grind to infinite, and this is the deck they settled on, and it got them to infinite within just a few days. So if for some reason maybe you're getting bored of, you know, where you're at with your main account, maybe you want to start over, make a new account, fresh account, start from the beginning, this would be an excellent deck to play. Or maybe you want to speed run to infinite for some reason, I don't know, trying to break a record or something, this is an excellent deck to play. Or maybe you're new to Marvel Snap and you just have a very limited card collection, then this is an excellent deck to play and kind of just learn the basics of the game. So just an excellent pool 1 only zoo style deck list. Or maybe you're on your main account, maybe you're like collection level 10,000, you just want to challenge yourself, right? Maybe you just want to challenge yourself. Yeah, I'm gonna get to infinite with only pool 1 cards. Well, go ahead, try it out. I think this deck list is very, very good. Strong Guy can get buffed fairly easily since we have a lot of cheap cards in our hand, including Blade, who discards a card from your hand. You can play him on the end turn 6, right, end of the game, and discarding a card doesn't really matter, just activates your Strong Guy. Also have Onslaught to double up on Blue Marvel, Strong Guy, Kazar, Captain America, and even Ant-Man as well. So just a very solid pool 1 only deck list. Next up, we got a Mr. Negative list from Mequonite. And I think Mr. Negative is actually in a pretty good spot right now because some of these cards that have been introduced to the game and dropped down in series are more available, really help Mr. Negative, like Bast. Bast is a 1/1 that has an on-reveal ability, set power of all cards in your hand to 3, and every card, well, almost every card in this deck takes advantage of that, right? Except for Sarah, but if Sarah loses 1 point, like, it's fine, right? It's not that big of a deal. But I mean, setting things like Iron Man to 3 is strong, Mr. Negative to 3, Mystique to 3, Darkhawk to 3, all very, very strong. And then we have Psylocke and Zabu, which actually both help us ramp into Mr. Negative 1 turn earlier, which is very, very valuable. Then we have things like Killmonger. We only have one cost, which is Bass, which is 1 power anyway. So Killmonger is just a good tech card in this deck list. Darkhawk, once you swap him with Mr. Negative, he'll be essentially a 0 cost 4 power plus his ongoing ability, which is very strong. Jubilee will become a 1/4. Shang-Chi will become 3/4, you know, etc., etc. Iron Man is just a really good card in negative decks. Plus, you can copy that Iron Man with the Mystique. You also have Blue Marvel, which you can copy that with Mystique. So I think Mr. Negative is in a pretty good spot right now, and this looks very, very strong. All right, last but certainly not least, we have a deck coming from Glazer, who is actually one of the hosts of Snap Judgment's Snap Fans official podcast. You can check them out. I'll leave a link for their channel down in the description. But Glazer, although he created this deck on Snap Fan, the original creator is someone named Keen Koala. And Glazer told me that this person, Keen Koala, hits infinite every season with some variation of this deck. And it's like a Quake sort of location control deck. And it's pretty spicy. He also has a video linked down here below if you want to check it out. But essentially, you're looking to lock your opponent out of multiple locations, right, with things like Goose, Storm, Spider-Man, and you can trip them up with the Quake. I think Quake is a really fun card here. And then we have things like Titania and Maximus, which are just good value for the energy cost. Crossbones, just a good tempo card. Vision, being able to move in and out of those locations. And then Dr. Doom, just an all-around good flexible card, can fit a Doombot into the flooded location or the whatever tricky locations there might be, right? Now, one thing I will say is I don't think Glazer has Jeff, but I would say Jeff would fit very, very nicely in this deck. I would probably swap out Lizard for Jeff. That's just kind of my opinion. But yeah, Jeff is a really good card. But this is a very interesting deck list. If you're looking for something maybe like off meta, or maybe you just really like playing Quake, or maybe you got a cool Quake variant and you want to flex a little bit, try this deck out and see how it works for you. I think this deck might be a little bit more skill intensive. It's not completely straightforward to play. I think this is a little bit more of a higher skill cap, but I think if you can master this deck list, I think it can be very strong and catch some of your opponents off guard. Now on to the gameplay. We are actually going to play the Raven special because I just recently unlocked Stature myself, and I've been looking for just more reasons to play Stature and to play Black Bolt, right? So it looks like we're going up against a Thanos deck here. Black Cat is going to discard herself, but like I said before, that is just fine. We could potentially bring her back with a Ghost Rider. We draw the Moon Knight here. We get armor. I could put armor into Nidavellir, but that potentially could be helping him out more than it helps me since I do have Shang-Chi in this deck. But I guess for now we could put her in there, right? Because I think we do want to take advantage of that location. And God, this Mr. Fantastic variant is disgusting. I'm sorry, but this is like the ugliest variant I've ever seen. Jesus. Oh my God. And at the time of recording, it is the hot location Monster Island. I could play the Moon Knight. It is a little bit risky, but you know what? I'm feeling risky. I'm gonna go for it. We're gonna play the Moon Knight, even though we don't have Ghost Rider in hand at the moment. So let's see. He discards Space Stone. We discard our Black Bolt. Now we do get the Stature actually, which is really nice. So what we can do here is probably want to Shuri, and the next turn we can Spider-Man Stature. So I think what we're going to do is let's do Shuri in the middle. Yeah, let's do Shuri in the middle, and we can honestly just double up Stature. I think that would totally be fine to do. Cosmo comes down in the left. Okay, so yeah, let's double up our Stature here, and then let's do Spider-Man. Do I want to do Spider-Man in the middle or the right? Maybe the right, or maybe the middle to protect against Shang-Chi, huh? Potentially. Let's see. Blue Marvel comes down. That is a 14-point Stature. 14-point Stature. Spider-Man comes down, and now we do have Shang-Chi, but the armor is protecting the monster here. Honestly, our best play is just to fill up Nidavellir, even though there's a Cosmo there. That's still going to be plus 10 extra power in this location, essentially. So we might as well just stick it out here. And our opponent plays Thanos on the right. I believe that was the incorrect choice, my friend. We actually barely take it out on the left location. So, not bad. Things were a little bit awkward since we didn't draw a Ghost Rider there, but we ended up taking the win anyways. All right, next up here, we got Wakanda. Our opponent drops a Quinjet. Our Black Cat is going to go ahead and say bye-bye. And let's see here. Lemuria. So we can drop the Zabu. Lemuria kind of sucks, because what if we top deck like Ghost Rider? But we'll go ahead and play Zabu into Wakanda. And let's see what we get next here. We get cloning vats. Ah, okay. Of course, we get the Ghost Rider, and we would have been able to play Ghost Rider, but Lemuria kind of screwed us over here. And Korg and Coulson. So to me, this is signaling a Devil Dino Darkhawk deck, and I think what we're gonna do is probably just play the Ghost Rider here. We can probably do Ghost Rider into cloning vats, get an extra copy of Ghost Rider, because why not? Oh, Darkhawk. That is... okay. That's... I was not expecting a Darkhawk. Well, our Ghost Rider is going to be very bad now, actually, because... he's not gonna have room to pull anything. But we actually get a copy of him back, right? Because technically, I did play him. So what we can do actually, is we can do Black Bolt now. Stature will cost 1. We could do Ghost Rider plus Stature, or potentially if we top deck Shang-Chi, we can do Ghost Rider plus Shang-Chi. Super Scroll comes down, so definitely a Devil Dino Darkhawk deck, because I was also playing Super Scroll in my Dino Darkhawk deck. Oh, we could do Shuri plus Stature also. That's kind of spicy. We could do... let's see here. We could do Shuri Stature, and that'll be 16 points, right? That's a lot of points. We could also maybe just kind of try and cover our bases a little bit and kind of attack both lanes. That's kind of the player I am. I kind of like to attack all of the locations if I can. So I think what I am going to do is we'll do Ghost Rider. It'll pull back Black Cat. That's 10 points here. And then a Stature for 7 in the middle. And this should be enough to win it. So they're actually not even contesting the left. Darkhawk. And what else do we got? Rock Slide. So that will buff up the Darkhawk, but not enough to win the middle and left lane. Okay, so this worked out. This worked out in the end. Oh, wow. So this next game, we got Elysium. We got Black Cat in our hand again. If we just drew her next turn, we would have been able to play her for 2 energy. We'll go ahead and play our Zabu down on turn 1, because why not? Oh, actually, I just realized we have Ghost Rider in our hand anyway, so we can actually just play Ghost Rider here. Yeah, well, maybe I want to hold on to him. Maybe we can wait a turn, right? Maybe let's see what this third location is. We're not in any rush to play Ghost Rider on turn 2, right? That's actually pretty insane, because he gets -1 from Elysium, -1 from Zabu. Okay, Monster Island is coming down, so let's actually do armor, or actually even better, we can Shang-Chi to destroy his monster, and then armor to protect mine. That's actually a really good play. So I'm going to snap on that. I am going to snap on that. And next turn, we probably play Black Bolt. Probably the move here. Oh, I wonder if he played a Shang-Chi. Let's see. Shang-Chi and armor. I think this is a good play. Oh, Jubilee. Okay. Jubilee's going to pull a Heimdall. Okay, so this is looking like a ramp deck then. Yeah, this is looking more like a ramp deck. Drew stature, which is nice. Let's go ahead and do Black Bolt. Let's discard a card from our opponent here. He could potentially hit us with the Sandman, though. That would be kind of bad for us. You know, one thing is I unlocked Jeff recently, and the more and more I've played him, I realized that Jeff is actually like a really good card. I would probably want... I would probably want a way to fit Jeff in this deck list if I can. And honestly, I think I'm just going to unload my hand here in case he is playing Sandman. Usually I would not like to unload my hand like this, but there's definitely a possibility he could be playing Sandman, and for that reason I think I'm just gonna dump my hand here. Although if he had Sandman, he probably would have played him already, right? Dr. Doom. So Odin is probably coming up next. Odin. Oh man, Odin actually would win it, huh? Because Odin is 8, so that goes to 13 here. And another Doombot would be +5 here. I think we actually lose this. Wow, I think we actually lose this, yeah. But for the sake of it, I think we'll stick in the game here. This is probably... I would probably retreat here, but we're gonna stick in it. He plays in the middle, so yeah, it's gonna be Odin. So yeah, we lose that game no matter what. Wow, so yeah, ramp decks are pretty strong at the moment. Okay then, we just barely lost that one, but you know what, that's fine, we take those. Alright, next game up here, we got the Nexus, and we have Spider-Man in our hand, which I think is probably going to be really good for the Nexus. Again, I keep seeming to get a Black Cat in my hand. Yondu's going to destroy our Shang-Chi. So Yondu usually is Death Wave or Galactus. Here, I think we probably just want to play Iceman. Let's go ahead and do Iceman onto the Quantum Realm. And it is Squirrel Girl, so that's probably actually just Death Wave and not Galactus. Armor could be good here, huh? Or actually, if we do Moon Knight, maybe we actually play Moon Knight here. And our opponent doesn't play anything. Okay, we discard the Ghost Rider. I guess that's fine. Oh, Moon Knight actually discarded Carnage, which we hit with Iceman. That kind of sucks. That's kind of one of the things I don't like about this deck. Even though I like Iceman and I like Moon Knight, playing them together can be a little bit awkward, right? Because you're trying to... You don't want to discard what you hit with Iceman, and that's what I just did. So that's not great. There's a Bucky Barnes. We'll throw our Zabu down, and we'll throw our armor down. And Spider-Man onto the Nexus is really, really good here. So I think... Okay, I was going to say, yeah, I think we're probably going to snap here. Our opponent, I think the Iceman maybe messed up their curve a little bit. But yeah, we probably would have just snapped, played Spider-Man on Nexus, and probably just win the game from there. So that was the Saturday showcase. Thank you so much to everyone who shared their decks. I really do appreciate you guys. And for those of you who are watching, everything will be linked down in the description. All the decks will be linked if you want to try them out for yourself. And once again, make sure to like and subscribe. I would really, really appreciate it. And join the Discord if you haven't already. I would love to see you there and chat Marvel Snap with you. And once again, thanks for watching. Appreciate you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.